Greetings, my name is Crystal Jones and this is my research project on the Disaster Management Program of the Dominican Republic. The disasters that the Dominican Republic are prone to and need to plan for are hurricanes, two of the most recent being Hurricane David and Hurricane George, both which killed over 400 people, floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, any kind of storm that brings heavy rain, major flooding alert, and climate change, which is a severe threat to the country. The Dominican Republic has a rich history, but it has always been a country hard hit by storms and disasters. The country is not as advanced as we think it is. It has the highest number of deaths per million inhabitants and highest mortality risk to disaster in the Caribbean after Haiti. There is a huge gap that exists between the rich and the poor when it comes to access to basic human needs such as food, clean water, and shelter, and there is also a high rate of displacement in the country. Almost 1/3 of the country lives at $1.25 a day. The history of the Dominican Republic has affected the organizational approach to disaster management. Any kind of storm with heavy rains exacerbates the problems already existing in the country. Millions are displaced, hundreds are killed, and food and water becomes even more scarce. And this is after just the small storms. The national government is responsible for most of the disaster management, but the local government also plays a key role. The implementation pattern of disaster response in the Dominican Republic is bottoms up. The response and recovery actions are triggered by the local government. The local government has autonomy and they make their own disaster plans, but they don't have many resources. However, quickly overburdened, the national government steps in swiftly to assist the local government. The main participants in disaster management are the central government, international agencies such as Natural Hazard Risk Management in the Caribbean, and non-governmental organizations. The country has very few community-driven organizations, but there is a major push to create more to shoulder some of the burden. Some of the potential obstacles the Dominican Republic is faced with include a lack of a national alert or warning system, lack of strict building codes and sustainable housing, a lack of public awareness to disaster risk, a lack of access to clean water, food, and shelter, and money that should be going to disaster research is going to other places. The past has greatly affected the disaster management practices and policies that we see in the Dominican Republic today. Today, we see much more advancement. The amount of storms that have hit the country and the damage that could have been prevented if prepared for has affected the amount of disaster risk research and development in the recent years. More effective plans and policies have been approved. Agencies are being built dedicated to the creation of better policies just for disaster management. A national plan for disaster response is currently in the works, and more attention is being paid to the issue of disaster preparedness and response. The country is better prepared for the future. This concludes my report. I hope you have enjoyed learning about the beautiful Caribbean island of the Dominican Republic.